Right, John, a wee quick word on the day's result at Ibrox. Rangers getting beat 2-0 by Hibs. Means we can now win the title. If we beat St Johnstone and then beat Kilmarnock, we'll be crowned champions, John, at Celtic Park next week. So it's absolutely tremendous. Well done to Hibs, John. Absolutely tremendous performance by Hibs. It means we still remain 13 points clear at the top of the league. We'll get into the preview of the St Johnstone game in a wee minute, John. But what did you think of the day's result at Ibrox?
Top notch. Well done, the hibs. Absolutely delighted with that. David Gray, what a job he's doing there. And it's as easy as that to beat Rangers. You just show up and beat them. They're that bad. They're absolutely garbage. Why Celtic failed to beat that Dross, I've no idea. But there you go. We actually managed to get beat with probably one of the worst teams in the league. But no, well done, Hibs. First of all, that's what a result that is. Just showing up at Ibrox, just winning, same as Queen's Park, Motherwell, and all that stuff. St Mirren, just go there and win. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, as regards to the Glasgow derby, John, it was a dead rubber. We said that in the preview of that game. It was a dead rubber, and it turned out that way, John. Next team that turns up at Ibrox beats them convincingly, very convincingly. Rangers fans turning on the club. But, John, it doesn't matter what happens with them now. We are now 2 wins away from the title. What a position to be in. We could win the league before the split.
For the split, aye. Well, it's a tough game against St Johnstone, obviously, but take care of them tomorrow if we can. A very tough game, easier said than done, but take care of them. And then it's if we do that, it's next week at Celtic Park. We could win the league against Kilmarnock, who also won the day, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they did win the day against 10-man Motherwell. And just one more wee thing before we go into the preview of the St Johnstone game, John. Hibs fans today, I don't know if you heard them, absolutely tremendous. Hitting it with all the Celtic songs, tremendous. All the usual songs that the Celtic fans normally sing, it's tremendous from the Hibs fans, John. And just a party really there for the Hibs, wasn't it?
Brilliant day for them, Xander. I know it's only Rangers, but they still did. You've got to show up and beat them, They're bumped their gums, they're the best team. The radio's going on and on about them. BBC can't stop going on about them. Whole country's going on about them because they beat Celtic in a dead rubber. But there you go. Is that their worst run at Ibrox in their history? I know they've only been gone for 12 years, but...
Yeah, it is, John. It is the worst run. It really is. And I was listening to the BBC, like you say there, John. And Ian McCall, he thinks that Rangers are going to win on Thursday night after that. He says they'll just need to beat Atletico now. So Ian McCall still confident they're going to beat Atletico when they can beat Hibs, St Mirren, Queen's Park, Motherwell, and whoever else, John, they've been beat with this season. So anyway, we'll leave it there, John. We'll get into the big preview in a wee minute. But just a wee final word on Hibs.
It's well done, Hibs, and I'm delighted for the Hibs fans going there and take the points off a rank rotten Sevco team. We all know they're rank rotten. Square Ball Barry, what a manager he is. They love him. They can't get enough of him. Riding Cherney's back like 3:30 at Chepstow. Captain Dandy. But never mind all that nonsense. Just good luck to the Hibs fans. I hope you enjoy your wee day. Well done, David Gray, of course. I think he's doing a fantastic job. And he's made every Celtic fan in the country a wee bit happier today. So thank you, Hibs. Thank you, David Gray. And good luck to the fans in their celebrations.
Yeah, and it means we're crowned champions even earlier. And that's why we're talking about it, John, because it affects Celtic, affects us. We're going to be champions very soon. So can't wait. Okay, let's get into this St Johnstone preview, John. It's been a while, hasn't it, John? 7 days since we've last been on. Last game was against Hearts. Comfortable 3-0 win there against the Hearts. No problems there. Decent game as well. Game of two halves, the usual, John, isn't it? We really need to cut this out, these games of two halves, and start demolishing teams for the full 90 minutes.
Exactly, aye. It's the end of the season, though, isn't it? It's hard. Easier said than done. It is hard to get the players kind of motivated for games, like especially this one coming up. It's away from home. It's St Johnstone, bottom of the league. And you know what bottom of the league teams are like? Always says it. They'll give you a harder game than, one of the top 6 teams. I always think that.
Yeah, definitely, John. They're fighting for their lives. But Yeah, let's move on then, John. Remember, hit that subscribe button, folks. If you don't mind, hit the subscribe button. That would be appreciated, and hit that like button as well. That would be also appreciated, John. So, right now we're going to do the news and gossip rumours, all the usual stuff that we usually hit out with. John Schmeichel looks as though he could be out for the rest of the season with his shoulder injury. John, that's no great news, is it?
No, it's never great news that to have your goalkeeper missing, especially a top quality keeper like Casper. We know he's let a few goals in recently. Plus he's passing that Derby game. We're not going to go on about that again, but you know what I mean. He has had a few errors, but that, although he's had them errors, it doesn't make a difference. He's still a top quality keeper. You know, we're going to miss him.
Yeah, we're going to miss him, especially with the semi-final coming up as well, John, and games against Rangers. And if we get to the final, a massive game in the Scottish Cup final as well. So you need your top players for these massive games. And if we've not got Casper there for the run-in, then it's a massive loss. But we have got a deputy there, Sinisalo, John. He played a decent game against Hearts, clean sheet there. Didn't look under any pressure. A couple of decent saves as well.
He was okay, the boy. I thought he was okay. I wasn't expecting him to talk in quite a broad English accent, by the way, when I listened to his interview.
Yeah. Yeah, a few people in the comments said that as Sinisalo English, you know. But he does have that broad English accent, and he speaks really well, actually, Sinisalo. So I don't know if maybe he was, born in Finland and came over and lived in England or whatever. I'm not too sure what the boy's history is, but he speaks very fluently, didn't he? And he's a brilliant goalkeeper, John. That's all we're interested in.
We'll need to wait and see some more of him before we make snap judgments on how good he is. But for what I've seen so far, pre-season friendlies, he's looked good. I think he played a bit in a Scottish Cup game as well, early on. And obviously last week against Hearts, it was good as well. So, he looks half decent. We'll say that.
Yeah, he looks good. And we've no choice, have we, John? We need to go with him. So, unless we put Bain in there, it's Sinisalo until Casper is fit again. Right, moving on. Greg Taylor, John. Looks as though Greg's on his way out, definitely. He's not going to sign this extension or any new contract. John Taylor looks as though he's off ski. Dynamo Zagreb is the club. We mentioned this about 6 months ago about Dynamo Zagreb, didn't we? So some people are actually saying, John, he's maybe already signed a pre-contract with Dynamo Zagreb, but that's not been confirmed. Nothing official there, but looks as though Greg Taylor, John, he's on his way out in the summer.
It looks that way. I think that's poor on Celtic's part. I really think Greg Taylor was a crank wee left back. All right, he might not have been the best left back, but Celtic failing to get him on a contract, I think that's poor on Celtic's part, because you could have got a few million for him. He is good enough for a lot of teams to play there, because he's a crank wee player. I like him. I do rate him. I know a lot of Celtic fans don't, but me personally, I think he's good enough. Kieran Tierney coming in, plus Jeffrey Schlupp, I think the chances of him signing a permanent contract are looking good. I don't think there's a place for Greg at Celtic, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's it. Dynamo Zagreb is his destination, folks. We mentioned this about 6 months ago, so you heard it here first. So, yeah, good luck to Greg if indeed he does head out of Celtic. 6, trophy-laden years at Celtic for Greg. He will be missed because he's a very decent left back, John. Very decent player for Celtic, in fact. That's obviously if he does leave. So we'll wait and see what happens with Greg. As you said there, John, Jeffrey Schlupp is going to sign a new contract, John. That's great news for us. Jeffrey Schlupp, another year's extension to his current deal, John. That would be absolutely outstanding, because he is a really decent left back, Jeffrey. He can play in the left wing as well, but you can tell he's a more forward thinking defender, can't you? With his shots in goal, he's attacking, his vision when he's attacking as well, John. His passes through to the forwards, you can just tell he's a really decent forward thinking player, John. And if we get him on a 1 year or a 2 year extension, John, that would be tremendous news for us.
I like him. I do like him. Never had the greatest Derby game. We'll go back to that game yet again. We don't want to bring it up all the time, but he didn't have a great game in that, I didn't think. And a lot of players are judged on performances in their games, aren't they? So, I don't want to look back to that game, but I'm just looking at that and thinking how players are judged on the big games, and I don't think he performed at all in that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, as you say, John, sometimes when it's your first Glasgow derby, you do freeze a wee bit. We've seen that with a lot of players in the past. And then when they pull the jersey on for the next one, they play a blinder. So that's what we're hoping for with Jeffrey into it. But he is a top quality player. Another
He
great
is. He
performance.
is.
Yeah, another great showing against Heartsman, John. So, uh, yeah, we'll wait and see if he signs an extension or a contract, if you like, a permanent contract at Celtic. We'll wait and see what happens in the summer. So that would be Jeffrey Schlupp and Kieran Tierney at left back. It's no bad options there, John.
It's very good, aye. I'm not saying Jeffrey's a bad player. He ain't a bad player. He's a very good player.
Yeah.
And it was part of the Leicester team that won the English Premiership as well, you know. He's a top quality player. It's just in that particular game, I always kind of try and judge players on the big games, the big derby games and that. And I just don't think any player really showed up on the day apart from probably Hatate and for the last half hour, I mean, and Maeda.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Well, we are going back a wee bit, aren't we there, John, thinking about back to that game. But it is still on a lot of people's minds, that game, you've got to admit. It's a lot of people still talking about it. Rangers fans are still celebrating it. You know, these things, you know, you can't get away from it. I mean, I listened to the Scottish football podcast on the BBC yesterday, and you know, I think the game was 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. I'm not too sure. It was a wee while ago, and it was mentioned 3 times, John. That game is mentioned 3 times. You're talking 3 or 4 weeks later, and the BBC are still mentioning it. Scottish football podcast, John, on the BBC. If you know, they were doing the build up to the, you know, this weekend's fixtures, and Celtic wasn't mentioned, John. Right? I know Celtic don't play it the Sunday, right? I understand that we don't play it the Sunday, so maybe that's why they're not mentioning it. But Dundee United don't play it the Sunday, and they were talking about that. So why is there no mention of Celtic? Celtic are the team, top of the league, 13 points clear, going for the league title, John. Why are they not talking about the potential champions of Scotland? At the end of the day, that's what all these teams are in the league for, to battle it out to see who's champions. Celtic weren't mentioned. So I went on to the English version of this, John, right? I know people think I'm a wee bit sad doing this. So I went on to the English version, and the first thing they talk about is who's at the top of the league, Liverpool. A 10-minute section on Liverpool. So I listened to that full Scottish football podcast from the BBC, John, and Celtic were not mentioned. It's very disappointing, it really is. But we don't expect anything else, do we?
I don't listen to BBC, as you know.
Yeah.
But they must be missing their staff, you know. I mean, half of the BBC staff are now managing Rangers.
Yeah, that's it, John. Yeah, I mean, that was a 15-minute segment on Hibs going to Ibrox on Saturday, John. That was a 15-minute segment on second against third. Champions are not mentioned. Anyway, I don't understand it, to be honest with you. You know, at least mention them. You at least mention that Celtic are no playing to Sunday. You know, not even a single mention. And they're talking about the ladies' international game as well, John. Still no mention of Celtic. It's unbelievable. Right, John, move on. Let's move on. It looks as though the SFA are going to allow Celtic and Rangers and anybody else that gets the chance to qualify for the knockout stage of any European tournament to have a weekend off, John, to postpone their game before the Wednesday or the Thursday. That's actually quite good news, isn't it, for Celtic and Rangers to get a rest before they play any knockout round?
I think so. I think it's the right thing to do because Celtic play a hell of a lot. I don't care about Rangers, but Celtic play a hell of a lot of games when they're in the Champions League. And sometimes, you know, you've only got a couple of days off and you're back into action again. It is tiring. I think that's a welcome shout there from the SFA. So well done them.
Yeah, there's not much you can say well done to the SFA about, is there? Tierney getting away with almost causing a riot. I mean, he gets away scot-free. That's been confirmed, John. There's no action taken against this idiot Tierney. So the SFA, you know, they finally get something right. So that'd be tremendous if we can get that wee extra game rest, if you like. No weekend fixture if we qualify for any potential knockout round. Right, John, let's get into it then. St Johnstone at the weekend, the big preview, Sunday, 12 o'clock kick-off, John. It's been a full week, over a week actually, since we've last kicked a ball. The days just drag in, didn't they, when you're waiting for Celtic to kick off?
It's a long wait. And we've still got another day to go, Sunday. I mean, that's torture, isn't it? Having to wait this amount of time. So it's a tough game, Xander. I'm expecting a very tough game. It's like I says, I think the teams at the bottom will always give you a tougher game than the teams in the top six. It's a tricky place to go at the best of times, St Johnstone, but I think Celtic's a fairly good record there, you know.
Very decent record in Perth. And we just want that to continue on Sunday, don't we? So let's run through what we usually run through before we get into the team news, etc., injury news. We'll run through the usual stuff. Referee for this one is, here we go, David Dickinson. He is the man in the middle. With great...
Go and say it.
The real deal star. He's the man in the middle, David Dickinson. Greg Aitken on the VAR, John. Let's have a wee quick word on Clancy last week, John. Is that not the worst refereeing performance you've ever seen in your entire life? Clancy refereeing the Celtic Hearts game last Saturday, John. We did say in the preview of the Hearts game to be wary of Clancy because he always has a poor game when Celtic are involved. And he didn't disappoint on that front, did he?
I can't remember it. Honestly, cannot remember it. I remember thinking this referee, he's terrible, but I can't remember the decisions, if you know what I mean. I can't remember every decision that he made. But he did have a very poor game. I remember thinking that, watching it, this is shocking refereeing. But I've not even watched the highlights after that game, to be honest with you, Xander. I took the win and I was happy.
Yeah, snooze fest the second half, wasn't it? But we're going off track here. So Dickinson, hope he has a better game on Sunday up at St Johnstone, John, because this Clancy guy, honestly, how he ever made it as a referee, I do not know. Every time a Hearts player went near a Celtic player, he fell to the ground and was given free kicks, John. It happened at least 15 times in the first half. Celtic fans were actually booing the referee because of it. Pathetic, absolutely pathetic. Right, back to St Johnstone then, John.
But that's not just Clancy. That happens with every referee again when the Celtic are playing. You just have to stand beside an opposition player. They fought and they get a free kick. We've been saying this for years. It's been happening to Celtic constantly. And if the same thing happens with a Celtic player on an opposition player, nothing is given. That's no paranoia. That is a 100% fact.
Yeah, it's as if they're trying to balance it out as best as they can. That's what it's like, John. I know we could say this because we're so far ahead in the league. We're about to win the league title sooner rather than later, hopefully, John. Sooner the better, as far as I'm concerned. We've of course got a chance of winning the Scottish Cup as well. We're into the semi-final. So we can mention these things, John. It's no sour grapes. We're miles ahead in the league. Chance of a treble as well. John, we can mention these things. So it's no sour grapes. I just think the refereeing in Scotland just now is pretty poor. Right, weather watch for St Johnstone up at Perth on Sunday. We've got 16 degrees, sunny, warm, dry, John. So that's perfect conditions for a game of football. Very little wind as well. But what we're hoping for then, John, is that the groundsman up at McDermott Park water the pitch, John, because we certainly don't want a dry, bobbly pitch.
Oh, this is it. I ain't seen St Johnstone this season, apart from when they played Celtic. I've no idea what their pitch is like. Should be okay this time of the year. They tend to kind of flatten it out after the winter and all that stuff. I think it'll be okay. But sometimes up there, you can get a wee bit of a disastrous goal mouth, if you like. A bit sandy and all that stuff up at Perth. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. And I also heard that there was a wee chance of winning the league up at St Johnstone, went there before the Glasgow Derby, etc., John. But things didn't go to plan the way we expected. So we can't win the league on Sunday. But St Johnstone gave Celtic 3 sides of the stadium, John. I don't know if that's still the case. I don't know if that was still agreed upon with St Johnstone. We'll wait and see on Sunday. I'm not too sure what the ticket allocation is, but there's potentially, John, you could be seeing Celtic at 3 sides of the stadium on Sunday.
I think it would be smart on St Johnstone's part to give Celtic 3 stands, because that's a very poorly supported team, that St Johnstone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice wee stadium. I think it holds about 10, 11,000, 12,000, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
And you're lucky if you get 2,500 in it. So it looks empty, even though it's just a wee stadium. It still looks empty. So I think it's good business on St Johnstone's part to allocate Celtic with 3/4 of that stadium. It makes sense, it's a wee money spinner for them.
Yeah, definitely. It just makes sense. It really does to give any team as many fans into that stadium as possible. If you've got your business head on, that's what you would do. Whether it's Celtic, Rangers, Aberdeen, doesn't matter, John. You'd want as many away fans into that stadium as possible. So we'll wait and see on Sunday if Celtic get the three sides. But as I say, all we can do is wait. The betting going into this one, John, let's have a wee look at this. This is interesting. 18-1 St Johnstone to win at home, fighting relegation, fighting for their lives, John. But obviously they really are off for them, St Johnstone. 18-1. I can't believe that's the price of St Johnstone at home. 7-1 the draw, and 1-6 Celtic to come out of there with the 3 points. So, bookies again, I know it doesn't go for much, but it does, it gives you a wee reflection on what the bookmakers think. 1-6 Celtic, 18-1 St Johnstone. What do you think of the odds, John?
It's overwhelming for a home team. That's 18-1 to win on your own in your own stadium. I'm trying to compare something Celtic playing at Celtic Park and getting odds of 18-1 to win. That's like the world's top 11 players playing at Celtic Park kind of odds, isn't it?
Yeah. Basically no chance the bookies are giving them, but that's no the way it works in Scotland. That is, especially for a team that's fighting for their survival, John. They've got to win. If they don't win and then Dundee win at the weekend, then that's them more or less relegated. So they've got to battle in this one. But every team always battles against Celtic, John. So yeah, 18-1. I was a wee bit shocked at that. I was thinking maybe the 9-1, something like that for St Johnstone at home. Let's have a wee look at the injuries, John. Players that are not available for both teams. We'll start with St Johnstone for this one. Mikulic, he's out injured, John. He's out for the rest of the season. McClelland, he's out also. Ligament damage there for McClelland. And Ikpeazu, the big forward, John, he's also out. So they've got 3 outs. Looking at Celtic, John, Celtic have got just the one, possibly 2 out of this one. Scales, he's back training, but it's too early for him. He'll not be back to next Saturday when we play Kilmarnock, John. So Big Scales will be ready for Kilmarnock, and Big Trusty, John, is also a doubt for this one. So 2 out for Celtic.
Aye, Big Trusty's a strange one, isn't it? I don't know, is it a knee or something like that with him? I'm not too sure. But
yeah, I think it's his knee and a facial injury, John. So there's a couple of injuries he picked up a few weeks ago. I think it was the St Mirren game, wasn't it? I think it was St Mirren. Anyway, he's out anyway, John, and Big Scales. So more or less full teams, really, for both teams.
I think it was St Mirren. I think that's, can't mind the boy's name. It plays for St Mirren, right into him with an elbow.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even carded for it. And I was shouting red card at the time, and nothing was ever done. And there you go. He's been out for, he's missed the last 3 games.
Yeah, it's quite a wee chunk of games he's missing here, John. And it might be another couple of weeks before he's ready for action again. So, yeah, he's out for this one anyway, John. He's definitely out for St Johnstone and Big Scales. It's just a wee bit too early for Big Scales, but he's back in training. So we'll see him on the bench, hopefully, next Saturday when we play Kilmarnock. Top scorer for Kilmarnock is Mackenzie Kirk, John. He's a top scorer with 7 goals this season. Mackenzie Kirk looks as though he's going to lead the line in this one. So I'll quickly run through who I think will be the starting lineup, John, and then we'll get your predicted 11 for Celtic. It's going to be Fisher in goals, McKenna, Balodis, Mitchell, Douglas, Wright, Holt, Sprangler, Svedberg, Griffith, and Kirk for St Johnstone. That's my predicted 11 for the Saints. John, if you want to give us your predicted 11 for Celtic.
Sprangler.
The Sprangelmeister.
that's a name and a half, isn't it? Big Jamie Sprangle.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't score the winner against us, the big Sprangler. It's a strange name, isn't it?
That's strange, yeah. Big shuggy strangler for the govern.
The big Sprangle. No, so that's the mass match where I think will start for them. As I say, Kirk up front, John knows where the net is. He'll lead the line. But our defence should be good enough to keep him in check, I would imagine, John. We've just got to wait and see what happens on Sunday. Right, John, predicted 11 for Celtic for this one. It should be quite easy, I think.
I says this the last time, but it's Kirk, their captain.
Kirk is not their captain, John, no. But we'll call him Captain Kirk just for this.
All right. Anyway.
Yeah, Captain Kirk up front.
Right.
Right, John, what are you thinking then? If it's very simple, isn't it? 1 to 11 has more or less been the same for the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Sprangelmeister.
The Sprangler.
It does. It sounds like a German name, isn't it? Sprangelmeister. But, let's move on for that. Sprangle. It's just, I don't know, for some reason it still makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Celtic starting lineup.
I'm just thinking, I hope he's no the one laughing at the end, Johnny, after us laughing at his name. But anyway, John, on you go. Sorry.
The last time we looked a bit stupid doing that was Scott McDonald way back in the day when he scored. He came on. I think it was before the game against Celtic when Rangers won the league that day. This helicopter day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And
that was the day, John. Sorry, that was the day. I think we were 1-0 up against Motherwell to win the league. 1-0 up. We missed chance after chance. Remember, we don't want to be talking about this too much. But Scott McDonald was getting ready to come in as a substitute with 10 minutes to go, and us two were laughing. And he scored the 2 goals, didn't he, to lose us the league. So yeah, we'll never forget that, John, will we?
I can't mind what we were laughing at. I think it's the fact that he just looked as if he had a big head in his wee jumper. We were laughing at that. And then he came on and banged in 2 goals.
League over.
league over helicopter. It was heading towards wherever. Ibrox, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
But that's just digressing a wee bit there.
Yeah. No wonder we don't want to be laughing at players, that's for sure.
Still laughing those Sprangles, the fun in them.
Yeah. All right, John, 11, what are you thinking then, buddy?
Right, Sinisalo, Carter Vickers, Naroki. It's got to be Schlupp and it's got to be Alistair Johnston, I think. Mm-hmm. All the players have had a week's rest, so they're all good to go. Centre of the park, Hatate, McGregor, and I'm hoping Luke McCowan's. I'm really liking the look of Luke McCowan's under. Every time he comes on, he puts in a performance and he gives his all for that jersey.
Yeah.
So I'd rather see him start in the centre of the park, and I'm going to go with that for this one.
Right, okay.
I'm hoping Brendan sees the same thing that I see, but anyway, up front, I think Dyson through the middle, of course, Jota on the left, and Kuhn on the right.
Mm-hmm. That's it. But I think he'll go with Engels, John. I think he will start with Engels. That's the only thing I would change for the lineup. Everything else is the exact same. Right.
Well, what's your opinion between Engels and Luke McCowan? Who would you rather see starting in these games?
I've got to admit, John, I agree with you. I think Luke has done enough to merit a start in these games. Arnie, he's hot and cold. Went through a wee spell there, John, where everything he done was good. Everything he done was fluent. Everything was nice and crisp and sharp. And then, the last few games, just from maybe just before the Glasgow Derby up until now, he's went back a wee peg or two. I'm not too sure. I'm not sure where it is with Arnie. He's still a very decent player. We all realise that. But I'd like to see Luke McCowan getting a wee start ahead of him, John. I agree with you.
I think when it comes to the attacking side of the game, I think Luke McCowan poses more of a threat gone in the forward positions. I mean, he's great getting into the box. He's got a goal in him. He's good at taking it round a player. He's good at tackling and tracking back. I like him, Sander. I think he deserves his place in that starting 11. I think he should be first pick.
Yeah, definitely, John. He deserves a chance anyway. I think he deserves a chance now. He's proven every time he's on that park that he's up for the task, John. We've not really seen much of McCowan and McGregor on the same team, have we? It's always been McCowan on the bench with McGregor and Engels playing together. So we'll wait and see what happens on Sunday when the lineup's announced, John. But I can't see it. I think it will be Arnie Engels, and I think you feel the same.
I think so. I think it will be Engels, but I'm just going on my preference. That's what I want to see starting. That's why I gave that lineup. Yeah. But I think it will be Engels that will start. Even though Engels is a bit taller than Luke McCowan, I still think Luke McCowan's a more physical player as well.
Yeah, he's only going to improve, John. He's just young, isn't he? He's only about 21, is it? Luke McCowan, 21.
Oh no, he's older than that. He's 27.
Oh, he is older. He is older. Well, that's probably why. Yeah, that's probably why.
26, 27.
Yeah, that's probably why he's putting in the performances then, John, because he's playing like a 25, 26-year-old. He really is. And I think he should be getting more starts. I really do. And then we're up against the team at the bottom of the league on Sunday, John. I agree with you. I think we should be looking to start with Luke McCowan with Callum and Rio Hatate in the midfield.
Definitely 100%. Aye. Anyway, that's not going to happen, I don't think. I think it's going to be Engels, but I'm just giving you my opinion of what I think should be the starting lineup. But there you go. Yeah. My opinion goes for nothing.
Now, maybe Brendan's listening, John. We'll wait and see. 11:30 when the team's announced on Sunday. Right, score prediction then, John. We'll get to the rest of the SPL later for our predictors. We didn't get any right last week at all between the two of us, so it's still 10-8. So, score prediction for the Celtic game first of all, anyway, John.
We never got any right. I'm sure I got one right last week. I can't remember, but I don't really care anyway. But I thought I got something right last week.
No, well, if you can find it, John, then, because I had a wee look through them all and I couldn't see any right. But anyway, if you can find one, then that's fair enough, sir. But this week, John, what are you thinking? St Johnstone Celtic.
St Johnstone Celtic. Celtic should be too strong for them. If the bookies are thinking 18-1 for the home team to get a win, that says it all really for me. But I'm going to go 3-1 Celtic.
Yeah, that's it. I think it'll be okay in the end for Celtic on Sunday, John. I think I'm going to go 3-0. Another clean sheet for Sinisalo. That would be good, wouldn't it? Another clean sheet for him. Boost his confidence for these big games coming up, John. We've got Kilmarnock next weekend. I know we're looking far ahead here, but we've got Kilmarnock. We've got the Scottish Cup semi-final against St Johnstone also. We've got another visit to Ibrox, and if we get to the final, a Scottish Cup final. So another clean sheet would boost his confidence.
Definitely, aye. I mean, that's what you want from every Celtic keeper. But aye, well, let's look. We just can only hope he gets better and better and makes that number one spot his own. And aye, good luck to Sinisalo. I just hope it works out for him at Celtic, because you know what Celtic are like when it comes to keepers. Get a big name in, keep him there. Nobody else gets a chance. But it says a lot that he's even keeping Scott Bain out of the team, who's been at Celtic for quite a number of years.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's just there for this, Scottish contingent for Europe, isn't he? You've got to have so many Scottish players there. I think that's the only reason why Scott Bain is there. He never gets a sniff anywhere near the team, does he? Even with Kasper Schmeichel out injured, he's still not getting a sniff, John. So that's all down to the Scottish contingent for Europe, John. That's the way I look at that. All right, sorry folks, I've got a cold, by the way, in case you wonder why I'm sniffling and all the rest of it, and it's murder. But we'll plug on. Let's plug on, John. Let's get into the SPL roundup for the weekend. We like to do this, don't we? John, I'll check your scores. Because I checked it only the once, so I'll double check it. And if you have got one, we'll get back to that and we'll add it onto your score. But right now, as it stands, 10-8, John, no change. With only 7 games to go, I might add, in the league, John. So things are hotting up between us two. And there's a new competition as well, folks. I forgot to mention that at the start. There's going to be a new competition for next season. I'll leave it for now. I'm not going to take too much just now, but it's going to involve anybody that enters a massive league table, and whoever's got the most points at the end of the season wins the big prize. So that's the new competition, but we'll bring that up for the post-match, or the preview, sorry, for the Kilmarnock game next weekend. Right, John? Dundee against St Mirren.
Dundee against St Mirren. How's that competition going to work if new people join it? You need to kind of be in it early. And, you know, I think irregulars would have a chance to win it, but how's newer people going to enter that?
Yeah, but you just need to enter through the comments, John. I'll explain more in detail next week. Just don't get the time to do it this week. But basically what it is basically what we're doing just now, John. Every Celtic game that's played, we want everybody to give their predictions. And if you get your prediction correct, the correct score that is, it's got to be the correct score, remember. You get 3 points, and you get a bonus point, John, if you can name a goal scorer as well. And whoever's got the most points at the end of the season wins the big prize. It's as simple as that, John.
Well, there's no point in entering in if you're late in the season. And then again, you might get a lot of score predictions right. So that sounds like a good wee competition. You better just hope some of these other podcasts don't steal it off. You know what they're like.
That's why I didn't want to mention it, John. But no, it'll be quite interesting. But you've got to enter, you know, up until the kickoff of the new season, John. So everybody can enter up until that point. And then there'll be no more entries accepted at the start of next season, John. But we'll go into more detail about that next weekend, right? For the prizes, etc., that's up for grabs as well. So we'll explain a wee bit more in detail. Right, John, Dundee against St Mirren. This is the Saturday games first.
I'm going to go for a home win here. I'm going to say 2-1 Dundee.
Yeah, they want to avoid the playoffs, aren't they, Dundee? And they've got a chance. You know, they really should have beat Rangers last week. They really should have. Don't go into too much detail about that, but they're a team that can find the net, John. They've got goals in them, Dundee, but also St Mirren with that massive 5-0 win last week, wasn't it? I don't think anybody ever predicted that one, did they? So I'm going to go with St Mirren, John, and I'm going to say 2-1 to St Mirren. Kilmarnock, Motherwell, Kilmarnock off form, definitely. Motherwell on form. What do you think, John?
Oh, I think the two of them are pretty bad, to be honest with you. I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to go 1 each.
Yeah, 2-0 to Motherwell for me in that one, John. Kilmarnock are on their knees, really. Motherwell playing a wee bit better than Kilmarnock, I would say. Their form's a wee bit better. Next one up, Ross County against Aberdeen.
Aberdeen won for me. I think they're hitting a wee bit of form at the right time, Aberdeen. I'm going to say 2-0 Aberdeen.
Absolutely, John. 3-0 Aberdeen for me there, John. And so let's move into the first division on Saturday, because we've now got Lenny Watch and Brownie Watch, John. I'll be like, watch everybody before you know anybody that's linked to Celtic. No, we always like to keep an eye on our legends, Lenny and Brownie, John. So we'll start with Raith Rovers against Ayr United.
Raith Rovers are a decent team. Ayr United, it's very up and down all season for Ayr United, isn't it? I mean,
yeah,
they go through this wee run of wins, and then they go through a run of bad results. Let's hope they're on a good run, and we'll go for a 2-1 Ayr United.
1 each for me there, John. Ayr United against Raith Rovers. And Dunfermline against Hampton Accies, John. Dunfermline beating Livingston in midweek, 1-0. Very decent result for Lenny there. So he's up and running, John. Lenny's up and running. He's up against Hamilton this weekend. I know we don't know much about the teams, but what's your wee prediction anyway, buddy?
Oh, I don't know. I know what Victor Wanyama gets sent off last week.
Yeah.
His first game for them. That's pretty bad, isn't it? I never seen it. I've actually not seen the incident, so I couldn't tell you anything about it. But I'm going to go for a Lenny win. I'm going to say 3-0 for Lenny's side.
Yeah, okay, I'll just say differently, John. 2-0 to Lenny. Lenny's Dunfermline. Right, into Sunday now. Hearts against Dundee United. You know, a nice 4-minute segment on the BBC podcast where there's no mention of Celtic at all, John. It's really bad. I know I keep going on about that, but it's annoying me. Hearts against Dundee United, John.
Tough one again, isn't it? Is it Tynecastle, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can only say a 2-1 win for Hearts.
Yeah, well, I think there's a draw written on this one, to be honest with you, with Hearts. It's a heavy defeat against Celtic, wasn't it? It was heavy enough, wasn't it? 3-0 loss at Paradise last weekend. Dundee United's just off the back of a 1-0 win. I'm going to say a draw then. I'll go 1-1. Another draw for me, yeah. All right, John, that wraps up the SPL fixtures for the weekend. I just wanted to run through, before we get to the comments, John, I wanted to run through some games we want to keep an eye on next week. John, let's start with the games in Europe. We'll keep an eye on Atletico Bilbao. On Sunday, they play Villarreal away from home. So good luck to Atletico Bilbao, because you want them on the best of form going into Ibrox on Thursday. And obviously Bilbao last weekend, John, drew nothing each with Osasuna. That wasn't the best result at home, but they're still in 4th place in La Liga. Very decent outfit, so we'll keep a wee eye on their results, John. And then looking ahead to next weekend, John, because we like to do this as well. After St Johnstone, we've got Kilmarnock at Celtic Park, John, 12:30 kick-off next Saturday, while Rangers are away to Aberdeen at Pittodrie next weekend, John. So a couple of decent fixtures to look forward to there as well.
Definitely, aye. I'm looking forward to the Celtic games, of course. Don't really care what happens with Sefco. That's their business. So it's like we keep saying, Celtic can only look after themselves. And the only reason I would take an interest in Sefco results is it wins us the league earlier if they get beat, that's all.
No, that's exactly it, John. That's why we're looking at the Hibs game, and then we'll be looking at the Aberdeen game as well, because, you know, the sooner this league title is wrapped up and that trophy is tucked away in the trophy room at Celtic Park, John, the better. And then we can concentrate on the Scottish Cup, John, because, you know, I think the game against St Johnstone is going to be really tough. You know, that's their season, isn't it, the semi-final? So that's going to be really tough, John. So we want to be on the best form possible going into the semi-final also. And if we've got that league title already wrapped up, then we can put all our concentration into that.
Well, this is it. I mean, it's a warm-up for the semi-final against St Johnstone, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the Celtics, we've got far better players there. And that's not being disrespectful to St Johnstone. I'm just telling you the truth. Everybody knows it. Celtic's got a great team there, and they should be capable of turning over St Johnstone, especially if there's 3/4 of the stadium filled with Celtic fans. So, but the other games, Rangers away to Aberdeen next week's always a tricky place for Sefco, isn't it?
Very tough. 2 tough games in a row, actually. I just think that Hibs, when was the last time they won at Ibrox? About 10 years ago? 5 years ago? I'm not sure, but it was a long time ago. So I just think Rangers will be too strong for Hibs there, even though Hibs are on some form. But Aberdeen at Pittodrie, that's another story, John. So we're hoping to get this league tied up for this Kilmarnock game, you know, a chance to win it against Kilmarnock, you know, if Hibs take something off Rangers this week. So we'll wait and see what happens there, John. And no other one really is obviously Bilbao going to Ibrox next Thursday, 8 o'clock kick-off. Good luck to Atletico Bilbao. Right, John, before we get to the comments, we've not done this in a few weeks. One more biggest defeat of the week. We've not done it for a few weeks, isn't it? And it's always the ladies' game that we get the results this from, isn't it? I wonder why, The ladies' game, biggest defeat, or the biggest one, whatever way you want to look at it, of the week goes to Gibraltar. Gibraltar 0, Slovakia 8 in the ladies' international. So well done, Slovakia, getting the biggest win of the week, and commiserations to Gibraltar getting the biggest defeat of the week. Ain't that to Slovakia, John? No bad result.
Aye, brilliant. Well done.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. I can't say it. No, I'm stumped for words. Slovakia against Gibraltar. I mean, I never thought we'd ever say that on this podcast.
You'll find something to talk about.
Well, there you go.
Right, okay. I know you never get a men's game with results like that. No, very often anyway, do you? 8, 9, 10, nothing.
Well, this is that. The only Celtic connection I can take out of that is Lubomir Ravchik. I wonder if he was watching.
Yeah, maybe his daughter or somebody related to him plays for Slovakia ladies, John. You never know. It's a good point, actually. No wonder they won 80-0. They've got players like Lubo in their team, to be honest with you. World
Well,
class.
this is it. This is it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe Libo manages something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. We just don't know. So well done, Slovakia, anyway, getting that title from the Celtic Forever podcast. Right, John, let's hit in some comments because we missed these out the last podcast, didn't we? I don't know where you want to take these for, John. Anyway, I'll take them for anywhere, John. What have you got for us, buddy?
I can only go for the last podcast. I could take them for anywhere, but I'll just start with James Doran. Says he always rated Frimpong and was gutted when he was sold on. He also says the SFA turned his stomach. He says SFA stands for Sevco Football Association.
Yeah, we've already went on about them in this podcast, John, without even looking back at the last comments. You know, a disaster of a association, John, to be honest with you. You know, pretty pathetic, isn't it? You know, letting this journey away with an absolute disgrace. You know, you've got Brendan Rodgers coming out, you know, lambasting this guy, John, to be honest with you, for doing that. You know, spraying water on Celtic supporters' faces. You know, total disrespect to Celtic Football Club and their supporters, and he gets away with it. Yeah, they're an absolute joke. As regards to Frimpong, yeah, we rated him, John, but we didn't rate him as a 50-60 million pound player, did we?
I certainly never. I thought he was a half decent wee player, but that was the COVID season. I remember it well, and it was every time he was starting, I was thinking, this guy's not doing it for me at all. But you could see he was a good player. One of them, you know, you could see he was a good player. Maybe just the players that he was playing around weren't they working as hard or something like that. I really don't know. But I don't know. He's half decent, I suppose. But obviously he's well rated now. Things have changed.
Oh, he's well rated. Big bucks coming Celtic's way for that well rated player, John. So roll on the summer, we get that extra few bob into the bank and help strengthen the squad for next season's title push, John. But we're looking way far ahead. We've not even won this season's yet.
Oh my days.
Oh my days, make mine a treble.
I remember it well. That was his slogan, wasn't it? Oh my day. Oh my days. I don't know, something like that. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough rambling. Thanks, James.
Cheers, James.
We would never sell a club. Time to put that disappointing lose against Sevco behind us and get back to winning ways again. Well, how are we supposed to forget if you keep talking about it?
Well, John, it's rubbed in our faces everywhere you look into it. I don't know how long ago that game was. 3-4 weeks ago, there was an international break and everything in between, John. I think it was about 4 weeks ago and they're still celebrating.
By the way, I'm only kidding. We would never sell a club. It's always good to hear from you.
Yeah, we know that we're all having a laugh and a joke because the fact that it's still been mentioned is quite pathetic, really. You listen to that BBC Scottish Football podcast and within 5 minutes they're talking about it. So, yeah, John, let's stop talking about it. It's gone a long time ago.
Well, we would never sell a club. Got the correct scorers last week. Duracell Boy and Jota. But she never got schluck. He never scored. But she says 3-1 and she got 2 of the scorers. So well done. We would never sell a club.
Yeah, that's it. We've not done that wee competition for a while. Just not many people entering on the YouTube. And I don't want to be putting it on Facebook because there's too many people entering. You can't win, can you? You know, over on Facebook, you've got thousands entering. On YouTube, we're lucky if we've got 20 people entering. So we're going to get that sorted for next season, folks. And thanks for the comment. We would never sell a club. Always welcome.
Aye, always welcome. Thanks again, Paul. Paul McEwen says, afternoon, hail the Celtic. And the Celtic ladies are well. There's a surprise.
Yeah, the Hibs ladies are well, John. They're flying just now, aren't they? They're another one at the weekend. They're flying top of the league into the Scottish Cup final. Yeah, they're doing really well, Hibs, aren't they?
Aye, absolutely. They're flying at the top of the Women's League, the Hibs team. So well done them.
Yeah.
Next up was Roseanne. She says, I'm going to have a wee guess at 3-0 to Celtic as a revenge score and Maeda to score. Roseanne get the correct score and a correct score. Well done, Roseanne.
Yeah, that's it, John. She's good, isn't she? She's good at the old correct score, John. Another one, bang on. Many that she's got right this season. Quite a few. So, yeah, Roseanne will enter the new competition for next season, and I think she'll be up near the top, I think, come the end.
I think so, aye. Well, once the new league kicks off next season, we'll soon find out.
Yeah.
Only league I care about is if Glasgow Celtic are flying at the top here.
Yeah, that's it, like they are just now. But we seem to forget about that because the Scottish press never mention it, John. They want to talk about Ross County, they want to talk about Dundee, they want to talk about Hibs and Aberdeen and Hearts and the Rangers, John, but they don't want to talk about Celtic. They really don't want to talk about it. Celtic, as a football club, are getting absolutely no respect and praise for what they're doing as a club, John. Winning the league, another league, 4 in a row. When we get this one over the line, 4 titles in a row, another Scottish Cup potentially, a League Cup already in the bag. We do not get the credit that we deserve, and that's fair enough. Let them, have the love in the Rangers Football Club, John. Let them have that, because they're the ones that are going to be disappointed at the end of the day while we are celebrating.
Aye, the celebrations are just warming up. I think the Celtic fans are stocking up with all fireworks. They'll be ready to go. So it's going to be big this season. It's time to make them pay for their behaviour all throughout the season. Celtic fans are well aware of their behaviour, so it's time for them. It's time for payback, and it's going to be big. Anyway,
yeah.
Next up, Peter Hendry. He says John saying Barry Ferguson is a half-wit is bang on. Well, that doesn't take a detective to work that out, Peter. He is. He's an absolute half-wit. We know that. He says, did you see the video where he's doing a quiz? And he's asked how many vowels are in the alphabet, and the half-wit answered 14.
I did mention, I did message him back to ask where that video was, so I could make my own wee clip out of it, but he never got back to me. So if you're listening, who is it again, John?
Peter Hendry.
Peter, right? Peter always comments as well. Peter, if you can tell us where that clip is, I'll have a wee look for it, and I'll make a wee video clip on that. That would be appreciated. Yeah, Barry 14 vowels Ferguson. Bang on.
Oh, aye. I don't know what he's thinking. I'm trying to think about what he was actually thinking about there when he's thinking vowels. What was he thinking about? How many vowels are in the alphabet? 14. Definitely 14, isn't there? What would they have been thinking about? I really don't know.
Sorry, John. Let's your impersonations of Ferguson are bang on, by the way. Absolutely brilliant. Right, John, who else have we got? Thanks, Peter, by the way. Get in touch with me about that clip and where you found it so that I can make my me clip on it. Cheers, pal.
I'd like to see that myself. His brother's no better. Turn the pages, Ferguson. What's his name again? The guy that still works for BBC.
Derek Ferguson.
Derek Turn the pages Ferguson. Brilliant. Absolute quality. You can see why the BBC hire these half-wits, don't you?
Oh dear, it's so bad, isn't it? It's but it's funny. We're guaranteed a laugh at John. That's the main thing. It's laughable. Derek Ferguson, he'll be the next one Rangers employ.
Aye. I hope so. Anyway, Paul McComb says we live in their heads rent-free. Well, I'd imagine so, Paul, because they're obsessed with Celtic, aren't they? I just think they're totally obsessed with Celtic. Although we are talking about them just now, I'm just answering comments, but they're absolutely obsessed with Celtic. And winning that game against Celtic, it was the biggest thing that's ever happened to their club, it seemed. That's what it seemed like.
Yeah, that's it, John. They've gone through years and years and years of hurt, a couple of decades actually of hurt, and that was a release for them beating Celtic at Celtic Park. That was a massive release. Just wish it didn't happen, but it did. So we move on. We're now 3 wins away from another title. Could be less, depending on other results, John. So we can, as you say, we can only look at Celtic, and once that title was over the line, I ask everybody to party like never before.
Party like it's 1999.
That's it. Party like it's 1999, and party like it's 1999 for a long time. Party all through the summer, folks.
I don't think we won the league in 99, did we? I can't.
No,
I need to check
no,
it. I need to check it, but I don't think we did.
no, 98, John. We won the league in 98, no, in
All
99.
right. Right, so we don't party like it's 99 then. Party like it's 98.
98. Yeah, that's it.
Right, anyway, 420 somewhere says hail, hail. Thanks for that, pal.
Yeah, he'll pal.
Rosemary says Ferguson's an amateur manager who got lucky with half a Celtic team that didn't turn up. He's not even a manager. For a Derby manager to behave like the way he did, to condone his players attacking Celtic fans, to jump on Tierney's back and ride him like a Derby winner, it's totally unprofessional, you know. He's just an absolute half-wit, as Peter says.
Yeah. Just in time for the Grand National this weekend as well.
Well, when I say he was riding him like a Derby winner, he was a Derby winner, went to the 1-3-0.
No, that's true. By the way, half a team with our captain missing and the rest of the guys never turned up. Yeah, celebrating party like it's 1999. They're still partying 4 weeks later. So yeah, revenge will be very sweet. Rosemary, was it Roseanne? Sorry, can't remember.
I can't remember either. Rosemary, yeah. I think it was.
Yeah, revenge will be sweet.
I certainly will. Anyway, moving on. Well, that's it then, Xander. As far as comments for that video goes, there was quite a lot of comments, but I don't know if people's deleting them or YouTube's deleting them, but there's a lot more comments than what I've read out, but they seem to be missing. But there you go.
All right, I'll need to have a wee look at that, John, because I've not really had much of a look at the comments. It's been, as I say, a full week since we've been on, so I just let the comments run, and if one flags up that's maybe needing deleted or looked at, then I'll have a wee look at it. But no, that's fine.
A zombie alert.
Yeah, zombies alert. And there's plenty of zombies alert, trust me, alerts. Right, John, let's wrap up there then. Thanks for reading them out. Thanks everybody for commenting. All commenters welcome. Just keep it clean. You'll get your comment read out, not a problem. New competition, we'll bring that up next weekend, John, on the preview of the Kilmarnock game. Looking forward to doing that. That'll be quite good. Good luck to Celtic against St Johnstone on Sunday, 12 o'clock kickoff. Nice, beautiful sunny day. Three sides of the stadium there for the Celtic supporters to celebrate. Yet another one, hopefully. That's what we're all looking for. And good luck to Hibs today as well when they face Rangers at Ibrox. Rangers going for their record defeats in a row. Ibrox 5 defeats in a row. So good luck to Hibs. Right, John, we'll leave it there. We'll do the post-match on Monday, hopefully, for the St Johnstone game. Good luck to the boys. Good luck to Brendan. And we'll catch you on Monday, buddy.
Catch you Monday, Xander. Hail, hail, mate.
Right, John. Hail, hail. Catch you later.